I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and it's part 2 of the review of the HTC 8XT on Sprint. Sprint's got a new Windows Phone 8 device, but can it compete with the iPhone 5, the One, the Galaxy S4, and the other devices on the Now network? We'll find out in part 2 of the video review. Are you going on a vacation soon? Because I found this to be a pretty useful application in the HTC 8XT catalog. This is the HTC 8XT video review part 2, and if you didn't, go check out part 1 because there's a lot of juicy stuff in there, including comparisons to other devices, speed, and more, and talking about Windows Phone 8 in general. But this is part 2, jumping right in with this converter application, which comes pre-installed on the HTC 8XT. I'll go into currency here. Let's go travel somewhere together. Let's say, I'm coming in from, obviously, the US, so we'll do, not Vietnam Dong, we'll do USD, and we'll go to where we want to go. Let's go somewhere together. Hong Kong dollar, that sounds fun. So I'm going to transfer, or I should say, transition 1,000 US dollars. I get 7,755 Hong Kong dollars. I should say 0.6 Hong Kong dollars. I'm not sure what the cents conversion is there, but pounds and pences, all that stuff. 658 pounds, euros, 752 euros. Man, that's a terrible conversion rate. But you get the idea. It's really nice to have this on the HTC 8XT. Cool to see that out of the box. And then you get some other goodies as well. Flashlight, I found this particularly useful. I'm talking about some of the things in case you're wondering, why is he covering these applications? I'm talking about things that make this thing different than other Windows Phone 8 devices on the market, because you review enough Windows 8 phones and there you see a lot of similarities, and that's a good thing, but as you do a lot of reviews, you find that you're saying the same thing over and over again. SOS mode in the flashlight, really useful here, and I'm not going to point it directly at the camera so you can see, or so you're blinded, but I want you to see that this is doing SOS. If you are ever in a situation where you need SOS, you've got this on your HTC 8XT, along with the ability, we'll go ahead and turn that off and go back to manual, and I can click my light off, on, up to 3 levels, and use that for those times when you're like me and you can't see the keyhole in the garage and you forgot to turn the light on. Nice little application right there. Now I want to jump in and talk a little bit about the camera here, because this is something HTC's customized. Finally in Windows Phone 8, I think Microsoft's loosening the reins a little bit and saying, hey, customize this a little bit. We obviously want the look and feel of Windows Phone 8 to stay the same, but one of the areas that I like a lot, when you go into camera, you're going to see that it looks a lot like the HTC One's camera interface. I'm going to show you the HTC One here just for example, so you can see your comparison purposes, where you can see, boom, they look almost identical right there. So very similar across the board, and you've got down here, as you can see, the ability to do stuff like sepia, black and white, all the different photo modifications right here on the display. So again, a much more robust, as far as I'm concerned, application than the stock camera application that comes with Windows Phone 8. So I can set it for black and white, for example. Take a look at the Lumia 1020, which I happen to have over here from part 1 when I was comparing them, just to show you the differences. I can half press and zoom in on the button, or I can do it from the display, and you're even going to hear that the sound effects are identical to the HTC camera application on Android devices as well. And I can come in here, for example, and do this, and do burst mode also. And then from there, you're going to see them load up, and I've got a bunch of different options here. And from here, I can say best image is probably that one, just shooting in the dark here. Only the best shot will be saved, the rest will be deleted. But you've got that burst mode right here in the HTC camera application as well. I can switch from camera to front-facing camera and make creepy faces on camera. Woo! I'm just trying to see how creepy of a face I can make. Photo settings, video settings, and actually I want to go back and set this to the rear camera before I look at photo settings. Now let's go to photo settings. Scene auto, and you can see all the different scenes that I have. Night, HDR, panorama, anti-shake, portrait, landscape, backlight, text, and macro. 2013, obviously, with the Lumia 1020 and the S4 and the HTC One, the year of the camera and making the camera better. And you even see that over here on this device, despite this not being necessarily HTC's flagship device. Portrait, landscape, all that stuff. Continuous shooting, I can limit to 20 frames. Crop, grid, face detection, touch to capture, contrast, saturation, sharpness, exposure, ISO, white balance. A lot of different customizations, which historically hasn't been a staple of Windows Phone 8. It's been a little bit more on the basic side, kind of like iOS. It's nice to see that customization there in this device. And again, keeping in mind, it's not a high-end device, it's more of a mid-tier device. It's nice to have the ability to do all this stuff in a phone that costs 99 bucks. So we'll say that's the best shot as well. Now you can do that, or if you want to, I'll show you what I'm talking about here when I go back and I can say either Swipe up, camera, you can see flash there as well. Now let's say you don't want that. For whatever reason, you want the stock application. Well, you can easily go into settings, move over to applications, go to photos plus camera, and then switch over to built-in app. And then when I click the button, it takes me back to my stock application, and then HTC camera and Bing Vision are there as lenses. So maybe you like this one, but you want the option to go to the HTC camera from time to time. You can do so just by going back to the main application and switching back and forth. Let's load up phonedog.com on Sprint's 4G LTE, which is available in the Dallas metro area. Not phone, let's go ahead and retry typing that, phonedog.com, and you'll see it pop up. Overall, been pretty decent. It was having trouble near my office. It's better now. PhoneDog West got the 4G LTE coverage now on Sprint, and it's working reasonably well. So you can see the PhoneDog site loading up. If you didn't get a chance, check out the dogfight between the HTC One Mini versus Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini. Really a cool one. Had a lot of fun doing that one. And I've got the menu here that I can swipe through if I want to, exclusives, latest, and featured, and then of course all my tabs here as well, including the win-free phones, which is what I was opening up before I closed it. And you can see here is our One-Pawed Bandit giveaway game. I'm going to take the time now to back up and thank our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like the 8XT that we turn around and give to you for free right here in this game, which you can see on our site at instantwin.phonedog.com, right down there. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working, regardless of whether it's this or the Note 2 that's here. You'll walk out working. They'll get you set up and ready to go. So you're good to go when you walk out the door, and you're working. Can't beat that with a stick. Now down here again, menu, home, and Bing and Boom Sound speakers as well. Overall, music sounds pretty good, decent all around. Boom Sound is nice, and then the Beats audio integration makes it even better. Now, quick couple of things here. Kids Corner is a big Windows Phone 8 staple, and it's nice because they highlighted this. Let's go ahead and do, let's say my kid travels a lot. We'll let them use the camera, the alarms. Actually, no, kids would set a ton of alarms and it would be really annoying. So we'll set up HTC, HTC camera. Let's do Sprint TV and movies too. And then I've got a couple of different applications here, 5 apps. And then I'm going to set a password for myself, 1234. This is actually a pretty cool application that was pioneered in many ways by Windows Phone 8. So you can see right here, Kids Corner, and I can swipe up to access mine, which it should have activated the password. Not sure why it did not. Let's try it now. Nope, still not activating the password. Swipe up to activate mine, swipe over here to activate Kids Corner, and you can see from Kids Corner, the kid has the ability to customize and make this their own. They can change it around, they can move icons around if they want to. They can make it like this, we can move this, and then boom, my kid has his own home screen with his applications, and he can customize the colors. He or she can customize the colors. Shouldn't say he, who knows which kind of kid I'll have when I have kids, if I have kids. Cobalt, Crimson, whatever the case. And then when you're done, turn it off and back on, and it brings you right back here to your home screen where I can put in that password and get right back in and pick up where I left off. So overall, Sprint's 4G LTE network, reasonably decent. The rollout's a little bit slow, but for me, so far it's worked pretty decent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Depends on where you are in the city, like any other network, but works pretty decent in the office now, getting speeds between 6 and 8 megabits per second. Not the fastest at all in comparison to Verizon or AT&T, but 6 to 8 better than what I was getting. And I did move offices and I have a window now, so that may be part of the explanation. But overall, it's pretty decent. 1,800 milliamp hour battery, get you through the day up until the evening. You'll probably have to recharge it after that. Is this a good device? Yes, really enjoy this device. The downside, 1 gigabyte of RAM. The other downside, a non-HD display, which believe me, when you're working with devices like this and the Galaxy S4 and even the older device, the Galaxy S3, HTC One with these higher resolution displays, you really feel that lack of either 720p or even 1080p. So that display, big downside, even at the $99 price point. I can name a bunch of devices that are around $100 that include an HD display on various carriers. So that's something I wish it had, but oh well. Overall image is pretty decent. Battery life, not the best in the world. Gets you through the day, like I said, but then at night you're gonna have to recharge with moderate use. And then of course you're seeing Bing integration right there. Good device though, really enjoy it at $100. It's a nice unit. It's nice to see Windows Phone. Love Windows Phone 8 as an option for a lot of people. It's great. Love to see it back on Sprint. Keep it locked on phonedog.com for more on the HTC 8XT. I'm on Twitter at phonedog_Aaron, Facebook, facebook.com/hi Aaron Baker. Let me know what you think of the 8XT and on a bigger scale of Windows Phone 8. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.